Yeah, Northwestern State's first regional win in 13 years. Last was 4-3 against Marist in 2005 in Baton Rouge. It's the largest margin of victory in a regional game in school history, surpassing the 8-2 win against Illinois State in Stillwater in 1993. And it is the first shutout by the Demons in NCAA regional play in school history.
With that, Coach, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Again, thank you guys for being here. Just what a win for our team, and these guys. And I just took a picture with 7 alumni that made the trip, and just how special that is for everybody associated with the program. About the game, and Jerry's been doing this for the last month of fighting through it with not really his best stuff, and just fighting through it till he finds a little bit of a groove. And like I said this in the tournament, it's almost more satisfying than when a guy goes out there and has his good stuff the entire time, because it shows what we're about. It shows the grit. It shows not dying, not giving in, when it gets tough. And credit to these guys for really buying in and being rewarded for it today.
Bobby, obviously, Mike was just in here, and he said that Jerry pitched more like Greg Maddux out there today. When you're seeing this from the dugout, was there ever a point in those first 3 or 4 innings where you were a little more concerned and you thought about pulling him? What was it that was the deciding factor that you kept pushing him out there?
I guess if I hadn't seen it the last 3 weeks, I might have thought about that, and Jerry will tell you sometimes he's his own worst enemy when it gets to 2 quick outs and he gets 3-ball counts, and he can talk about that if he wants. We don't need to talk negative things. But he's just a fighter, man. He can gut through it. He can gut through it, and he's always got a couple pitches working. And that's big. When today he had all 4 at some points in the game, and when he can do that, he can keep them off balance, and they see that big slow curveball, and it kind of gets in the back of their mind a little bit. And it just an outstanding, gritty performance by him.
Jerry, not a lot of hits given up. There were a couple of instances, I think it was the 4th or 5th, where they had the bases loaded, 1 out. You just always seem throughout the game when they got a runner in scoring position to find that pitch or have your defense back you up. What was working for you today that you were able to kind of dig deep and find those pitches?
My breaking ball was really working for me today. It kind of got me over when it needed it to. Also, the changeup was working when the fastball wasn't. It's kind of really about getting into the rhythm. And I think the biggest thing that worked out for me today is the hitters coming through, more than you can ask for. And, whenever they give you a 4 or 5-run lead, especially a 9-run lead, it takes its toll, especially with it being an elimination game on the other team.
For you, Jerry, as Bobby said, you didn't have your best stuff. So when you're out there on the hill, how do you kind of gut through that? Take us through the mental approach of making your way through over 100 pitches in 6 innings.
I think the hardest part is finding what is the reason for kind of something getting you out of your rhythm. In that case, I was kind of throwing my fastball up. And, whether it be kind of overstriding or the arm lag or something like that, you kind of really have to try and find what it is and then get back in your rhythm and kind of carry you throughout the game.
Tyler, this was, maybe your best offensive game of the season. I guess what were you seeing today, and why do you think maybe you were able to break out like this today?
Dugas was helping me with a bunch of stuff. I've been struggling lately, but I made a small adjustments, and I guess it finally worked out and paid off.
And one thing to that, too, Tyler has been working his tail off with Coach Dugas, our hitting coach. That's the Dugas he's referring to. And, similar to Quan in last year, not having a great year, but the work paying off. And it's just so gratifying to see when he's putting in all that work and that extra work and making swing adjustments to have a performance like he did today. I told him if he changes his swing at any point in his career that I'm going to punch him from here on out. So we're not going to do any more. Every 0 for 3, we're not changing our swing anymore. So he's done a great job.
Bobby and Quan, if you could, just talk about what kind of a catalyst he is for the offense. When he goes, it just seems like things fall in place for you offensively. So if you could just comment on his game and what it means when he has a game like this.
Yeah, Quan's always been able to change the game. You know, that's why guys draft guys that can really run and affect the game in so many different ways. And you saw every way today he can affect the game. Hit for power. He's running balls down gap to gap in the outfield. You know, the balls that are hit off the bat, we know they're caught, you know, because we've seen him do it so many times. So he can change the game in so many ways, and he's going to score in every double that's hit, you know, from first base. And I don't think there's anything prettier than watching him run on the bases and score on a double.
For Bobby, Tyler, and Quan, it really seemed, I think, the starting pitcher for them threw 4 pitches and was already 1-0 by that time. It really seemed like the mantra today was first pitch, be aggressive. I mean, it really seemed to work out for y'all. So I guess what went behind having that mentality?
Well, we you know, in our scouting, we knew he threw a bunch of strikes, you know, and that was kind of all the information we got on him. Threw a bunch of strikes. Probably didn't have that pitch down that was going to make you swing and miss. So it was get up there and let it fly, you know, let it fly. And we kind of had the same thing yesterday. We just didn't find as much turf, you know, as we did today. And when you do that and you're successful at that, it puts a pitcher and a defense back on their heels a little bit, you know, when you can keep coming out. And I was a little worried that we had that little burst and then we hit and double play ball, you know. But then Tyler there in the third inning kind of got us back going with the home run. So Whenever you know a guy's going to throw a ton of strikes, you know, you got to get in there ready to hit, and we did a good job of that.
I guess for kind of following up on that, Quan and Tyler, I mean, y'all like having that approach where they kind of free swing, jump out the first pitch you see approach?
I mean, yeah, I enjoy being able to get my hacks off and be aggressive as a hitter. I mean, who doesn't? When the coach goes, hey, throws a lot of strikes, it gives you kind of a confidence as a hitter. It's like, oh, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to have fun at the plate right here and try to do some damage.
Goes back to what Quan said. I mean, it gives you a little more confidence knowing that he fills up the zone and it's not all over the place, and you just get on that first pitch and get after it.
Are you kind of jealous to see the 5th run knock you off of your bat because you had the first 4?
It's a team sport.
For the players, just as Pugh was mentioning, all the kind of landmarks and that have been achieved today with the shutout and first win in 13 years. If you could just tell us what it feels like for you guys to be able to survive and advance and get at least one more game here in the NCAA tournament.
Well, I mean, for me, it feels amazing. I know every other guy in that, well, I guess Buster right now can attest to that. We've talked about this all season long, going out and making history, and we continue to make history, and that's one thing we've enjoyed doing over the course of this season. And, I mean, nobody wants this to be our last game, so right now we're just fighting. I mean, our back's against the wall, we just got to keep fighting.
Goes back to what Coach said. All the alumni that just before us, just getting out there and getting after like they did. Your turn.
I mean, it's incredible. It's hard to put it in words, really. You know, he said it, the alumni and the seniors is who you really do it for, and it's good seeing it all pay off for them with all the work that they've put in throughout the 4 years that they've been here.
Tyler, that was your 6th home run of the season. Did the first 5 come with that signature bat flip too?
Oh, I wouldn't say. It came off the bat real good, and I guess I just pimped it. I don't know, just a reaction sometimes.
We don't teach the bat
Yeah, we
flip
don't do
in
that.
practice. So,
Coach Dugas doesn't like all that.
yeah, that's frowned upon, but we kind of let it slide when the ball is a yard
Oops.
sometimes.
We enjoyed it upstairs. Oh, man. Anything else, guys?
Y'all caught that? I hope y'all didn't catch that.
Coach, you had already mentioned, I think, that you're really the only team here with established number 3 starter. Does that make you feel better going forward from here?
Yeah, I mean, different teams do it a lot different ways. I'm sure those other 2 teams still in the tournament have plenty of good arms down there to throw at us. But we said from the get-go that we were going to do it this way. We're going to go Ridge and then Jerry and then Nate tomorrow. So and that formula has worked for us, this entire season. So I don't know if it gives us an edge at all, but it's nice not having to go home and make a decision about who's going to pitch tomorrow. That's for sure.